Great. So Pam, I think you'll call us to order to choose a chair as the,
Wait a minute. We don't have a chair yet, so.
okay. I nominate Pam. Oh, I can't nominate anyone.
Yeah, I nominate Pam, but we haven't
Thank
gotten
you,
there yet.
Tammy.
We have to call to order, and doesn't somebody have to read that
Well, the
checklist?
meeting's called to order at this time. I'll go ahead and do that.
Do you want to read the checklist, Pam? Could you do that?
I can do that now, or the new chair can do it.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Dawn, are you going to second
Isn't-
Pam as chair?
Yes, I
I
second.
nominate Pam.
I
All
second.
right.
Vote now.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Pam, you're good to go.
Okay.
Notice how I didn't give her
All
any
right.
say in that. I'm getting a little bit, I've been around a while now.
And you're just flowing from the last meeting. You're just ready to go.
So I want to read the checklist first. As chair of the Sanborn Regional School Board's Policy Subcommittee, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor and as a result of COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to the meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that we are providing a public access to the meeting by phone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We're utilizing Zoom for this electronic meeting. All members of the Sanborn Regional School Board's Policy Subcommittee have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during the meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following phone number. I hope everyone has a pencil and pen ready. 1-646-558-8656. That's 646-558-8656. And the meeting ID number is 978-3039-6651. Or by clicking the following website address. So there is a YouTube channel, and Tom, would you like me to read the URL or?
No, you can just say, just go to the Sanborn Regional School District website, and the URL should be right on the front page.
All right, so please go to sau.net and sau17.net, and you should find the URL there. And I'm also confirming that we're providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting, including how to access the meeting using Zoom or telephonically. Instructions have also been provided at our website, www.sau17.org, which I believe is now .net, but providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if they have problems with access. If anyone has a problem, please call 978-482-7394 or email at helpdesk@sau17.net. Adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note all votes are taken during this meeting by roll call vote. And let's start the meeting by taking roll call attendance. Tammy Mahoney.
Looks like
She's
it's trying to reconnect. Yeah.
Oh, she can't hear me.
Looks like we lost her phone line. There we go.
There it is.
There she is.
Can you hear us now?
I'll start with myself. Pam Brown here. Tammy Mahoney.
I'm here now again.
Right, there you are. And Dawn Dutton.
Here.
And please indicate if there's anyone else in the room and your location, which is also required by the right to know law. So I'm at home alone tonight. Tammy?
I'm at home. There are people in the house, but not around me at the moment.
All right.
And I am at home and I am downstairs. Everybody else is upstairs.
I'm in the man cave.
All right, thank you so much. I'd recommend that, Dawn, you start a new folder called policy, because as we do documents and drafts, you're gonna want to stuff everything into a single directory. We do have a policy revision and development guidelines document that we formed in 2018, and I will email that to everyone, so you have a copy of
Oh, that
that.
would be great. Thank you.
And I'd also like to move that we include the following summary of our last policy meeting in our May 6th minutes. It's not an actual set of minutes because I no longer have a quorum of the policy committee to approve the minutes. So it's a summary of what happened.
It's fine. Yep.
So I'll just read it aloud. The March 4th, 2020 policy meeting was called to order at 3:38 p.m. in room 102 of the high school. In attendance were Pam Brown, Chair, Pete Broderick, and Superintendent Ambrose, along with Assistant High School Principal Bob Dawson. Excused was committee member Larry Heath. The minutes of the 2/5/2020 meeting were approved without changes. The following new and revised policies were reviewed and agreed ready for the first and second reading by the board on May 6th. GBEAB, JBAA-A, JLCFA, JLDBB, JLF, and BGC. There were no public comments, and the meeting adjourned at 3:59 p.m. Can I get a second on my motion?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? I support my own
Aye.
summary of.
I don't get a vote, but I'm saying, yeah, I'm good.
No, we're doing it by roll call vote.
Right,
Tammy,
yes.
Right.
Tammy,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
Dawn.
Yes, I.
Yes.
You. So just to let Dawn know what we've been doing lately, our main function is to update the policy manual and as federal laws and state RSAs change. And also our administrators bring to us ideas for changes to the policy as well. And we reviewed all our policies over the last 18 months. We're 95% done with the important ones anyway. The School Board Association sends us regular updates of new legislation, usually fall and spring. I believe in summer, we occasionally get an update as well. And they also flag us on hearings going on in Concord in case any of us wants to attend regarding new legislation. The School Board Association has an archive of all policies, sample policies on their website. I'll send you the login information.
Awesome.
The district policies fall into 3 buckets. There's P for priority, that means required. R is recommended, and O is optional.
Okay.
And obviously, the priority policies that we hear about require immediate attention. And we do have to revise any recommended or optional policies we have in the manual, because if there's a change that's made to the regulations that affect our optional policies, we have to revise those policies. And unless we decide to dispense with them altogether, if there's something we don't want to retain. Some board policy committees are quite activist and others are not. So some people run for school board to fight against a policy or add a new one, but those aspirations will quickly fade for you because the district has a limited legal budget, and
That is the voice of experience right there, huh, Tammy?
the
Yeah, for
board has
sure.
the board has a limited legal budget to fight, any policies that are mandated that we might object to. And that's a deciding factor. And it's always costly to challenge anything like that. Also, we can tweak policies that the School Board Association recommends as drafts to suit our local tastes and communities, but we'd need to get our legal counsel to weigh in on any changes, and that can also become expensive. And we use the feedback from our administrators and leaders because they know what's happened in the past, and that's a good way to save money and time. There are a couple of policies out there that I've been gritting my teeth about for a few years now, but we have enough on our plate currently, so I've just let those go. And And then finally, any policy can be proposed for revision, inclusion, or removal by any board member. So unlike the power committees, facilities and finance, we're more of an advisory committee. We don't have any independent authority to make decisions. And, but we do a lot of the heavy lifting for the rest of the board by just reviewing new policies. So
And,
that
and I have to just
concludes-
say that Pam, can I just say that that is very true, that this committee does an amazing job. We went through almost 350 policies my first year here, Dawn.
Yes,
Because
I followed along as everything was going on, and it was very impressive.
Pam is like a machine. She just churns them out.
Mm,
And I think it's really important for everyone to remember that we still have some that we need to look at in terms of the sequence. So Phyllis had prepared a bunch right before COVID-19 happened. So one thing I was going to suggest is that we start off with those until we wait for the next NHSBA update.
Right. So that summary was mainly for people at home in case they aren't familiar with policy or they're thinking about running for the board. They need to know what the subcommittees do. So that concludes my summary. I'll send you the login information. There are things we need to clean up this year. For example, we had some new policies related to federal grant rules. It's DAF 1 through DAF-10. And we need to go through all of our fiscal management policies that might reference federal grants and insert see also, the dreaded see also policies, blah, blah, so that we have that tied into the new policies. So
Okay.
that's kind of the type of thing we need to do this coming year, now that we have a bunch of new policies. So to me, that would be one of our goals.
Yes,
It's so
I would
cool.
agree completely that updating the financial policies, and the nice thing is that once the reorganization is done, Matt will have the RAM or the computer space in his brain available to do it for us. Right?
Oh,
So
I'm sure he
Matt,
has nothing to do right now, so no,
yeah,
I
Nothing.
know, there's just so much we've been doing lately that
yeah.
I'm just kind of shocked that we got everything done. That
Well,
we
the middle
have.
school is moving Monday.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you an update in a few minutes at the board
wow.
I don't have a pickup truck, so don't talk.
meeting. You're good. You're good. It's all set.
We have a little Honda, sorry. So we can discuss goals at our next meeting. We're supposed to wait till the board sets goals and then our goals align with the board's annual goals. But my main goal would be to align new and existing policies. Like I said, to reference new policies to existing policies. Not sure what else we should be doing next year, but I'm sure you guys would have some ideas for that. Tom, did you have some ideas for goals for the coming year?
No, I think you hit it right on the head, Pam. We've worked so hard to get things kind of set up at the beginning,
Right,
that now we can start. This group has done some amazing heavy lifting, and frankly, Pam and Tammy have worked incredibly hard for 2 years and really got things in shape. So we're in a position where we should be able to get on a schedule of reviewing. So I can't remember. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. Was it F or G? I think it was F that Phyllis went through this spring. She got those ready, and then COVID hit. So we should probably set a goal of wrapping up those F policies, and then one goal for us is to come up with a 3-year rotation or a 4-year rotation where if the members of the group should change, they know which policies to look at, so that the policies are updated in a timely manner every so many years, right? Like, one thing that we haven't done is create that schedule, because frankly, again, it just never really got addressed, and that's not uncommon. So I'm not saying anything negative about previous boards or previous policy committees. It's not unusual that policy gets a little bit neglected. And my leadership style is that policies protect the board. So I take a less is more approach. I believe that you should have policies that are pertinent, that actually affect the functioning of the school, that we follow them and use them, and that they're action documents that are used by administration, and that they only exist when we need to have them. Because if you have too much, if things are too tight, then when you get into a situation with humans, it's hard to respond. So we've worked really hard to find a balance between what needs to be in writing versus what's going to work in a functional way. And we've had some really great discussions about it. It's not easy. This is a philosophical committee in some ways that's rooted in law. It's really kind of, I enjoy policy work if it's purposeful.
Right.
Right? I don't enjoy it just to have policies. I only like it when it's going to help. So the goal is to make sure that our policies are aligned with practices, that they actually, when administrators get stuck in a situation around a student or an adult, they can go to a policy manual and feel like they know what to do in that moment. That saves us legal costs up the road.
Well, good fences make good neighbors, but if you're arguing about a new regulation about the color of the fences,
Yep.
instead of just talking to your neighbor about what's usually the preferred color, you don't have to have a rule for everything. Sometimes dialogue gets it done instead.
Right.
So, yeah.
So yeah, Phil, if you could, Pam, if you could check in with Phyllis, maybe we could start right off in September with those ones that she had ready.
Okay, I will. And I want to acknowledge Phyllis Kennedy, the work she's put in to help just get everything into the Excel file. You know what I
And
mean?
Bob.
It was amazing.
Yeah, Bob too. Bob Dawson has been.
I'm surprised Phyllis is still with us, you know? I mean, at this point, she probably wants to retire, but I'm glad she's still working for the district.
She'll stay around. She's fun. We all miss each
Yeah,
other, though.
but I mean, she did a lot of work for us.
She did.
It really helped me. Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Great.
We've been having regular meetings as a central office just to see each other because people miss each other a lot.
Right. Yeah, I'd love to stop by the office, but no one's there.
I know.
No, I can't. So no golden delicious apples for you guys.
I did buy some Honey Crisp this week, Pam.
Oh, you did. I got you in the habit. That's
you
good.
did.
Yeah. So I don't have
can
anything else. Yep.
Can I ask a question? So
Please.
because I wasn't on the committee this past year, did you, it sounds like you completed most of the schedule, most of the letters, reviewing all the policy letters, but not F. Can you just kind of recap the progress that was made last year going through the policy manual by the different letters?
Well, we didn't hit every section. There's A through J, K, L.
I think I needs to get done at some point as well.
Some of them, the School Board Association's attorney who helped us, update everything. Some of the policies were fine and didn't need revision. So there were sections we didn't really touch on during the review since they didn't need any work. But we should at least begin reviewing those sections just in case we want to improve some of the policies. And
I'm looking up
that needs to be done every few years anyway. I mean, just because the lawyer didn't recommend anything doesn't mean we shouldn't review them.
That's right.
So we basically reviewed what needed to be reviewed.
I know there was a spreadsheet or a schedule that you were keeping, Tom, and
yeah,
it
was the fiscal management piece needs a lot of work, and that is changing. So even though we did the fiscal management the first year, Tammy, it needs to be redone because so much has changed with grants. And then
are those which policy should not be?
D. I think it was F. D, F, and I. When we do a rotation, D, F, and I would be the first way to go. So when we talk about our goal of a rotation, Tammy, I think D, F, and I are the place to start. But I want to keep an eye on E with support services because there's a lot changing at the federal level with support services.
Okay.
So just remember that as we do this work, there are two areas that are going to need constant maintenance. And this is just I'm kind of saying this for the public and for Dawn. When you're doing policies, D, fiscal management, E, support services, and J, students always have work to do. Always.
Right.
Because they are kind of the areas those are the ones that can really get us stuck. So Tammy, I would say that
Yep.
the ones that I said, E, F, and I would be the first on the, so when we do a 3-year plan or whatever,
Okay.
we really should look at the number, when we do this plan over the first couple of meetings, this won't take long, but Pam and I can kind of rough it out and bring it to the committee. But I think that the gist of it wouldn't be necessarily the alphabet, but more the number of policies within the alphabet, because J is huge.
Mm.
So J
Right.
might be a 2-year project. You do J and half a J 1 year, half the next year. But getting on a rotation is the key
Mhm.
now.
Yep.
And as soon as I get an update from the School Board Association, I'll forward it to you. You'll probably see it in your folders and your emails anyway, but
Mhm.
I kind of scroll through and look for the priority ones first and then look at the others after
Mhm.
that. Tom, can you send us your Excel file with all of the revisions?
Yeah,
latest
I'll
version?
ask Phyllis to share that with you guys again.
I have an old version, but it might not be the most recent.
And I'm not sure exactly how up to date it is from last year either, because we were so busy with the reorganization that we might need to update it. Let me
Right.
see. I'll send that to Phyllis right now.
Okay, great. Thank you so
So
much.
one thing that was difficult for me was the location of some of the files, where things are being stored and where we're supposed to go to access stuff. If we could make that a little bit more explicit, if there's a central repository that you're accessing, if you could.
Mhm.
I have trouble finding stuff on these Google Drives.
Yeah, I do too. So what I would
there's
say is,
multiple locations and just hard to
Yep.
find stuff.
We'll set up a folder for let's start doing that, having an annual folder for us as a team. So we'll make a
Okay.
Google folder that's the 2021 policy committee storage folder. And then, because the way that when you read that process, Dawn, what it says is there's a policy that needs to be reviewed. I'm just going to make one up, right? Like
Yep.
like policy GBDA. I'm literally just making one up.
Right.
Phyllis takes the NHSBA suggested language and loads it into the policy and crosses out what would be removed
Okay.
and bolds what would be added. And then the administrators read it and give feedback. And then I look it over and we bring it to the committee for review, so that it's based in the root of application.
Right.
That the administration is saying, yeah, this is the way this actually works. Because we had one around homeless students that Jody was adamant, like, this is the way this one's got to be, right? And like Pam was saying, we may have personal feelings about it, but that doesn't matter because it's a legal policy. And a couple of them it's not black and white. I mean, the lawyer at NHSBA will even say, these 6 things are linked, and this is what we think will happen if you don't do this. They're not, it hasn't gone to the Supreme Court. I mean, you can't, it's that fine line between, is it really a law or is it a suggestion based on multiple laws? I've learned a lot in this committee, and Will Phillips at the NHSBA is absolutely awesome. He's
He never
amazing.
sleeps.
The guy never sleeps.
No.
And he will help us when we get into the sticky ones too. And so has Jim O'Shaughnessy from Drummond and Woodsum. And the other attorney that we occasionally access is Diane Goro, because she has worked and knows the history of the district over at Sol Leslie Kidder.
Right.
We have really good folks. Will Phillips is free because he comes with our membership. But sometimes when it's gray, he'll say, you should talk to the district attorney, because the district attorney is the one that we're providing. They provide guidance, not necessarily formal legal advice.
So I'm kind of old
So-
school when it comes to agenda items and documents. I kind of put them all into one Word file and save it,
Okay.
because I don't want to keep opening
If I could make,
different files to see everything. So that's how I've been doing it for a couple of years now. But we should also have it in Google Docs. I agree.
Yes.
But I always push out the agenda a couple times just so people have it in their inbox and they can see everything for the meeting.
can I make a suggestion? There is already a policy committee folder under
There is.
school board, under
Yeah.
committees.
Committees. Yep.
There's
We'll
a
just
policy
keep it all there.
folder.
Yeah.
So
So
if we
yeah,
could-
I know.
and you could
I
we
went
could
there looking
create
for
a 2020
information,
Oh, yeah.
but it's
That one
not.
isn't being used right
Yeah.
now.
Okay, I
Much.
will upload things. If I can't get access, I'll get Phyllis to help me get access to it. and then I'll upload things there. Okay.
Great.
That would be useful. I tend email for me gets things get buried, and
Right.
that's just more difficult for me. It's just much easier if there's one central location to go to reference. That's
Thanks,
my
Tammy.
suggestion.
It is really helpful. And
I
it really is the
hate,
easiest.
I really hate those little attachment bubbles that you can type out comments on that. So I was told, I don't know if Tom said this or someone, that it's better to keep the original, strike out and bold document that shows the changes, a clean copy, and just write notes on it.
That's right. Yep.
That's how we should probably do it for the meetings. As long as we can figure out where each person's comments are going on the, file, but it just gets a little ridiculous when we start having these long strings of comments.
Yeah. What we've been doing is kind of similar to what we were doing, Tammy, when you were on the committee, which is the document that's been approved by administration, or the suggested language from NHSBA that's been reviewed by administration, will go into that folder. Then you'll go to the folder and get it and print it off and write your notes and thoughts and questions. And then when we come to the meeting, everyone can share their thoughts and questions. And always, if you can email me questions before the meeting, that's always better, because I can get it to the lawyer and ask them and then tell you the answer at the meeting or even beforehand, so that way it just moves things along quicker. Like, it really, a good committee meeting means that we get all the information together ahead of time, answer questions, and then discuss the parts that are gray and tricky together. and I will, excuse me,
Yep.
I'll have, as I did, we didn't do this as much last year, but I really do want to have a couple of administrators that are liaisons from the administrative team that at least attend the meetings and answer questions. And I typically look to Brian or Bob, and then maybe someone from one of the other levels, just because it's good for you guys to dialogue with the people that are on the front line.
Right.
It shouldn't just be me up here saying this is
Yeah.
what they want. I'd rather have them tell you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great.
So our next meeting is June 3rd, apparently at 5 p.m.
Sounds
And
good.
hopefully by then the board will have some annual goals and we can derive our own goals from the board's goals. We
I
can
think,
fill
yeah,
it out as well, but
yeah, our goals we kind of already talked about, and we'll see what the board comes up with. But I really think that, just as a preview, that the two things that I need to suggest to the board to help us for next year are, I really want to focus on getting the report cards and the math program straightened out. Those are the big things that I feel like we really need to look at right now, is what are we doing with, it's really frustrating for Patty because she worked so hard on the math program and was just, she's ready to go, but she can't, no one can do it. They're in survival mode. So the teachers, so we're not going to ask teachers for input on a math program in this mess. So, soon enough. But I think that the math program and the report cards should be really, once the reorganization's done, those two things. But there's another little goal that's out there too that is not little at all, but it's actually getting the intervention program up and running. Right. That would be the third goal that I don't, the board chooses their own goals, but if you ask me, those are the three big things that are going to be cooking next year. And you know what I love about that? I met you all and we were kind of in a state of transition and chaos. And for next year's goals, we're talking about kids and learning.
Yay, finally.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, we've been
really
doing
awesome.
that now, but it just seems like with the COVID virus, we can't talk about anything else. You know what I mean?
I know, Pam. Tell me.
We don't have goals on our agenda for today. When are we, if we need to start a discussion on goals at the board level, that takes a couple meetings to finalize. Or do we think we're going to have board goals by our next policy meeting?
I don't know. We'll have to talk to Jim. I'll ask him. But if we don't, that's okay, because really, I can't do a whole lot of policy work until we are back to regular business. So I'm not really, the two committees that are primarily going to run and do things right now are finance and facilities. But if we don't make it in time for that meeting, Tammy, we'll just schedule another meeting for a half an hour, 45 minutes, another time, and do it this way and set the goals. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I certainly agree with you that usually it takes a couple of meetings, but I think this year, because I really kind of laid out a 4-year plan for the district last two years ago when I talked about the
Right.
reorganization. So the next step would be those three things, right? The report cards, I think the board is kind of already aware of that. So I don't know that we'll need 2 meetings for goals, but we might. So I'll talk to Jim. Let's see what happens. And if we need to move
Hopefully we'll only need one.
yeah, I think we'll probably be okay. But if not, we can always move our policy meeting to another night in June just to get the goal setting done. Good point though, Tammy. Right now I'm so focused on everyone moving Monday that I'm
Yeah.
certainly not someone who has tunnel vision, but we're gonna have everyone moved and done by the second week of June.
Right, wow.
It's really
Wow.
great, really great. All right, I'm gonna. Do you guys mind if we go? Because I want to use the
No,
bathroom.
I'm pretty much done. Anything else tonight or? So bring your ideas for goals to the next meeting and I appreciate everyone's help here. And I will send you the links and so forth, I promised.
Do you know how to do your little reactions? Have you done
Thank
this
you.
yet?
My what?
Oh, reactions. I
Yeah.
see those now.
Oh,
Right on the bottom.
No.
On the right. You can
Ah,
check it out. You can do this. You can
Got
be
it.
like, yo, there you go. All right,
Oh, yeah.
guys. I'll see you in a half hour.
Okay, thanks.
all right.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.